Okay, let's dive right into this. You've got a great idea, and you want to turn it into a real product, but the clock is always ticking. Today, we're going to lay out a blueprint for building your minimum viable product, your MVP, not just fast, but smart, using one of the most powerful tools out there, Node.js. So here's what we're covering. First, we'll get a feel for the high-stakes race to the market that we're all in. Then, we'll break down exactly why Node.js gives you a serious competitive edge. After that, we'll walk through a practical, step-by-step development roadmap. And to wrap it all up, we'll talk about how to build an MVP that's actually designed to grow, not just get tossed aside. So let's set the scene. We are smack in the middle of what you could call the modern MVP race. And in today's world, speed isn't just a nice-to-have, it's literally the entire game.
In this quote, this really gets to the heart of the whole challenge. In these hyper-competitive markets, you have to prove your idea works, and you have to do it fast. If you wait too long, that window of opportunity just slams shut. Releasing a product late doesn't just mean you're behind. It means you've probably already lost.
Now, an MVP isn't just some half-baked product. No, it's a super strategic tool. It's the absolute simplest version of your idea that solves one core problem for one specific user. This is how you prove your concept is viable, get that crucial buy-in from investors, and start learning from real people, all while keeping your initial risk as low as possible.
So, if speed and validation are the name of the game, how do you actually win it? Well, this is where your choice of technology comes in. Let's dig into why Node.js has become the absolute go-to for building MVPs that get to market fast and are actually built to scale.
In this race to launch, every single week, heck, every single day counts. Think of Node.js's architecture like a super efficient restaurant. It takes an order, sends it straight to the kitchen, and immediately moves on to the next customer. It doesn't just stand there waiting for the first dish to be cooked. It's incredibly efficient. And when you combine that with this massive library of reusable code, you're not building from scratch. Your team can spin up a working prototype in days, not weeks.
You know, for most startups, the biggest hurdle isn't the idea, it's the budget. And this is where Node.js is a lifesaver. Because it uses JavaScript on both the front end and the back end, you don't need two separate specialized teams. You can run with a smaller, more unified team, which means lower costs and way less complexity.
This right here shows you the two different worlds. On the left, that's the old way. Separate teams, speaking different coding languages, with these slow, clunky handoffs between them. But on the right, that's the Node.js approach. One unified team. Everybody speaks the same language, JavaScript. That invisible wall between the front end and back end just disappears. Collaboration is seamless, and hiring gets a whole lot easier.
But here's the real question. What happens when your MVP is a hit? You need to be able to handle all that traffic, right? This is where the non-blocking nature of Node.js is an absolute game changer. It's like a chess master playing 20 games at once. It makes a move and immediately turns to the next board without waiting. It just doesn't stop to catch its breath. This makes it perfect for apps with tons of users, and it means your MVP can grow without you needing a painful, expensive rewrite down the road. Just look at this number for a second, 12 million. That's roughly how many developers out there work with Node.js. This isn't just some passing trend. It's a massive, thriving global community. That means when you choose Node.js, you're not just getting a piece of technology. You're plugging into a huge support system that's constantly making it better, more secure, and ready for whatever's next.
Okay, so we've totally covered the why. Now let's get into the how. In this section, we're going to lay out a really practical 6-step roadmap that'll take you all the way from just a concept in your head to a live product out in the wild.
The thing to remember is that this roadmap is a circle, not a straight line. It all starts with discovery, where you figure out what you're actually building. Then you create the blueprint in the architecture phase. Next is agile development, where you build in short, focused bursts. After a ton of testing, you go live in deployment. But it doesn't end there. The most important step is last, iteration. That's where you learn from your users and start the whole cycle over again, making it better each and every time.
Let's zoom in on that architecture phase, because this decision is so important. With Node.js, you've got options. For a really simple early-stage MVP, a monolithic setup is fast and cheap. If you're already planning for major growth and complexity, microservices lets you build independent parts that scale easily. And for certain apps, a serverless approach can be unbelievably cost-effective since you only pay for what you use. The key is picking the right foundation for what you're trying to achieve.
And that brings us to our final section. And honestly, it might be the most important one. A great MVP should never be a throwaway project. So here, we're going to talk about the strategies and the technical wisdom that separate a fragile prototype from a product that is truly built to last.
So how do you actually do it? How do you build something that can stand the test of time? It's not just about being fast, it's about being smart. And the answer is all about combining sharp strategic focus with some real technical foresight right from day one.
Strategically, there are 3 golden rules. First, measure what matters. Track things that actually impact the business, not just vanity metrics like signups. Second, stay laser-focused. Your goal is to solve one core user problem better than anyone else. And third, build to learn. That feedback loop, from your product to your user and back to you, is your most valuable asset. Because let's be real, your first version is probably going to be wrong. The faster you learn, the faster you can make it right.
And on the technical side, making smart choices early will save you months of headaches later on. First, pick the right tools for the job, like the database that best fits your data. Second, take security seriously from the very beginning. That's not something you can just tack on later. And finally, keep it simple. Fight that urge to over-engineer everything. A clean, simple code base is one that can actually grow and scale with you.
So, to wrap it all up, building an MVP is a race against time, a race to prove your idea works before the world moves on without you. And in that race, Node.js gives you exactly what you need. It's fast, it's dependable, and it's built for getting real results without all the unnecessary complexity.
At the end of the day, a good MVP is all about answering a question. Are we solving a real problem? Will people actually pay for this solution? It's a tool for learning. So, the only thing left to think about is, what's the critical question that your MVP is going to answer?